All righty, let's get started. First of all, thanks to the four of you that have joined this. I will express for those that watch it later some disappointment that I'm getting 4 people out of a class of 194, particularly given some of the questions and email that I received yesterday, primarily yesterday, as the first quiz was due. So I want to go over that. I want to talk briefly about where some mistakes have been made and how we're going to move forward, and hopefully get everyone on the same page here so that we can move forward efficiently. So like I said, yesterday was the first quiz was due. Now, if we look in the syllabus, it was the week before that the academic integrity module and the course requirements quiz was due. However, many or most people did not get that in by time or on time. So I was left with an awful lot of marking to do right at the last minute. I don't care. That's not a problem for me. I have to mark the same amount, whether it's 1 week or another. The problem is when the panic emails start coming in saying, sir, I can't see the quiz. I don't know what's wrong. I've submitted this, I've done that. And, I don't know where the quiz is, and I only have a couple hours or a few hours to get the quiz in. So I had lots of email coming in saying, sir, I've just submitted it. Can you make the quiz available? So there's a question of scale here, and I want to be very clear about the problem. If I was teaching 10 students, I could respond at great length, and I could respond to the repetitive same question. I have 194 in this class and 800 overall students. Even if 10% or 15% of people are asking me questions by email, and I certainly did receive that number of email on Friday easily, I can't keep up with that. So there is no way that just because a student got around to submitting their, let's say, academic integrity module a week late, that I can drop everything and mark theirs. So what I do is I mark in specific times. So I'll take a half an hour and I'll mark all the submissions, and then I'll do it again later. I gave up at 9 o'clock Friday night, which I think is more than reasonable. And there were some people that did not get to do the quiz because they didn't have the availability of the quiz because they hadn't finished the requirements before 9 o'clock at night. So there's still lots of people that haven't submitted these requirements. I will inevitably, about week 8, get an email saying, I've missed all the quizzes. Can you open up the quizzes? Well, no, I can't. So once the quizzes are closed, they are closed, and that's the way it is. So I just want to be really clear. And again, for the people that are here live with me right now, I agree with exactly what Jacob was saying in the chat. I 100% believe that the people that are here live with me are not the people that did that. There's no question about that. I'm speaking to the wider class that hopefully will go ahead and watch this later on. So don't take any of this personally. In fact, it's not really personal for anyone, even if you're just watching this sometime later on in the week. So totally agree with you, Jacob. I'm not suggesting anyone here, and I'm not really speaking to the people that are with me live right now. So, however, I am going to send out an announcement saying that everyone's responsible for watching these office hours, and hopefully they will get the message to the people that have not attended them before or had some of the problems that I'm going to go over. So the most common problem with the academic integrity module, and happened probably 15% of the time, was that people sent me a screenshot and it didn't have their name included in that. So please read the instructions. Please do what's asked. Please check the instructions before you make your submission. If over 800 students, I have 15% of students that I have to mark twice. that's 120 extra markings. That takes time. Everything takes time. So again, if I had 10 students, it would be a negligible amount of time. With 800 students, it's a big problem. So please do it right the first time. And then the further problem becomes, you think you've submitted it correctly, you can't see the quiz, the time is creeping down, and you're worried about the marks. So people get excited and they get nervous or tense about it. And none of us need that. Just take the time to do it right the first time. Course requirements quiz. This was a unique learning experience for me. Some people, and not an insignificant number of people, decided that they would take the shotgun approach, as I call it. They wouldn't do the research and figure out what the answers are. They would just try every possible permutation. They get maybe the 20 correct marks, 20 questions correct, and then they take the shotgun approach on the rest and try and do every possible combination. So the record to date is 45 attempts. That is absolutely ridiculous, and I expect a completely different approach. We're all either university students or university graduates, and I'm expecting an analytical approach and not a random, I'm an automaton, I'm just going to press buttons until I get it right. It's the whole monkeys composing Shakespeare analogy. Let's not do that. Let's be thoughtful. Let's be in the moment. Let's figure out the answers and get them right. So I'm going to change my methodology. This was the first time I required that for this course. I'm going to change my methodology and restrict the number of attempts per week. So if someone wants to do that, at least I'll stretch it out the entire term. So when people are asking me to mark, because all these things were submitted late, anything that was after, not yesterday, but last Friday was late, I have to approve every one. So if someone does 45 submissions, I have to click yes 45 times in order for the auto rating or the auto grading to take place in that. So it's just a big time waster. It's embarrassing and it's a time waster. So that was the approach to the course requirements quiz. I will address that in future courses. Nothing will change for now. I did get some feedback with people challenging me on whether the questions had the correct answers, and I'm happy to be challenged at any time, and I'll always look and make 100% sure. But keep in mind, the vast majority of these questions have been answered thousands of times at this point. So if you think for some reason that you, as the 1200th person to respond to this question, see something differently that hasn't been noticed before, have at it. I'll look at it and make sure, but the chances are really, really narrow that there's a problem with the question and answer, because like I said, they've been used many, many, many times before. So, and then I guess the other big email that I got was I can't see it. And that was because I did have to manually mark all these late submissions. If you submitted before a week ago Friday, I had to manually look at the academic integrity because I had to look at the screenshot, but I did not have to mark the other one, and it would just automatically give you the mark. So once you got into the late, you could see that you got 22 or 21 or 19 or whatever your mark was, but it would show as a 0 in your grade book until I had a chance to approve it. So that's the answer to that. So this morning when I got in and in front of my computer, I spent an hour responding to all the people after 9 o'clock that had questions that had left it that late into the evening. So I've said before, I do answer email as fast as I can, but I'm not making a commitment to stay up late or to not, take part in my evening plans so that I can enable people that are already late submitting. So it's a different thing if we're having a problem and the problem's generated by me, but if you're late, that's kind of the risk you're taking. Having said that, there's people that haven't submitted and will be submitting presumably in the next week. I suggest that you do it early in the week, and then there's not a problem. You have much more time to go ahead and get it right so you can see the quiz and deal with that over the week. I will not be reopening quiz 1 under any circumstances at all. All right, that's my talk about the past. Any questions, comments, concerns from the folks that are here? All right, I will move on. Just looking at my notes here. Assignment 1, part 1 has been released. We talked a little bit about that last week, I believe. It is the technical checkup. So it's a fairly straightforward assignment. And the design of that, as we've already covered, is to make sure that you're able to submit and do a very sort of not complicated or simple video and submit it properly before we get into the more complex topic. You'll have to have submitted the technical checkup in order to even see the next part of the assignment. The technical checkup, I believe, is due on February 2nd. Let me verify that. So I'm just looking at module 2. We've got assignment 1 technical checkup due Wednesday, February 2nd. So that is presumably a week from Wednesday. It is. That's up to 1.5 minutes of video, a few minor things to do, fairly straightforward topics, nothing that requires a ton of research. We're not marking content here. We're marking to make sure that you can do the technical tasks, put some typeface in there, like put some headings in or whatever, have your audio working, have your video working. There's, as Thomas had said before, there's no requirement. If you don't feel comfortable in filming your face, or you just don't want to, don't do that. That's fine. There's no requirement for that. Your submission is between yourself and Thomas and or myself. So it's not going to be out to your other students. It's not going to be published anywhere. And that's part of the reason that we want to make sure with the technical checkup that you're posting it properly. So that's a fairly straightforward thing. I would encourage you to do it sooner rather than later. I did already have a question about software, and I referred that. Thomas is our expert here in terms of YouTube and for that matter, Instagram and the social media end of things. I post a lot of videos. I do a lot of work with videos for lectures and things like that. He probably has a way better idea of freeware tools and those sorts of things. I would just Google it myself. I use Camtasia. I pay for Camtasia. That's my editing software, and I can do audio and video in that. So those videos that you've seen, and for that matter, this, when I'll edit it briefly, like chop it off at the beginning and the end, and then I'll post it after I've processed it in Camtasia. That's the tool I use, but there's no need to spend money on a tool, and we don't really care about watermarks or anything like that. But generally, you should be able to find a tool that doesn't leave any watermarks and allows you enough freedom to put in some headings and maybe put in some background sounds or some of the nice touches for publishing. Do take a look at, first of all, Thomas will post a video, or has posted a video with instructions. Take your time, watch that. He gives you all sorts of hints, and then take a look at the rubric as well, which is super straightforward for this technical checkup one. We have another quiz not due this Friday, but next Friday. We have a discussion 2. First post is due, and I haven't even posted that yet, so I'll get that up in the next couple hours. The discussion post 2 will be due this Friday. Sorry, discussion 2 post 1 will be due this Friday, and discussion 2 post 2 will be due next Friday. So I am going to get through the marking of your discussion posts so that you have some feedback, so that you can see what the comments are from your first discussion before you get too deep into your second discussion. So I'll be working hard on that over the weekend and probably the early part of the week. And I will just release those discussion marks as soon as I've got the mark, sort of thing. So they'll be live as soon as I hit enter on your mark. Please do read the comments, and hopefully they have some value in them. And if you need some clarification, let me know. But most of them are going to be very standard and very self-explanatory. It's going to be things like avoid first person, proofread, cite, use citations properly, watch your format, those sorts of things. So for the most part, they're not too difficult to interpret. But if you have questions, of course, reach out to me. The only other thing that I wanted to say is that I am not going to levy any penalty in the first discussion for the first post being late. So I am normally a stickler about that, and I'm not going to do it in discussion 1. I guarantee I will do it 2, 3, and 4. But discussion 1, with all the students that were joining late, there were many, many students that weren't even part of the class until the second week. So they were obviously all going to take late penalties when they submitted their discussions. There's enough of them that I can't be bothered going through and just not penalizing them. So I'm just going to give the whole class a pass on this one. And so if you posted late with no excuse, so to speak, don't worry about it on the first discussion. You're not going to lose the 10%. All right. Is there a list of topics that we choose from, or is it up to us? I know it is more on the video than what we are talking to. So let me just navigate there. If we go to the assignments menu, there is the specifics are posted there. So so the instructions, I'll just sort of keep it brief here. Your task is to create a video essay no longer than 1 minute, 30 seconds in length. In this video, you will discuss one positive and one negative experience you have had or witnessed of companies using social media as a business tool. So presumably, most of you are on social media. You've seen the ads, say on Instagram, or you've heard of, a company making a dumb move on one of the social media and facing a backlash. Talk about that. I don't spend a ton of time researching. Like I said, we're not really worried too much about content for this one. We're more worried about whether you can deliver in a smooth way so that it's not your first draft. You're not doing it off the top of your head. Add some sort of text to the video because we want that functionality for part 2. Add some graphics, music, or other items to enhance the end product. And then it says, please note that the actual content is not what will be graded on this portion of assignment 1. So I'm just reading from right in assignments. So you should be able to see that. It is available to you. Please read through it carefully and then watch Thomas's video as well. All right, you're welcome. Does anyone have any questions? Oh, I see a message. Bear with me. Where is his video listed? I think it's in course content. Course content, assignment 1, part 1. So yeah, if you go into course content, where we've got our modules there. Above that, there is an assignment 1, part 1, technical checkup portion resources. Take a look through there. All right, you see it? Good, awesome. Yeah, Thomas does a great job. I don't tell him I said this. He'll probably never see this video. He does a great job. He loves teaching people how to do these videos and how to progress. He's a real teacher at heart. So he's he puts out great videos and lots of hints, lots of resources. Is the second part of the assignment similar to the part one but detailed? Yes and no. So we haven't finalized it, to be quite honest, but typically we have in the past have taken some subject matter from marketing, and you'll do actual research on it, and then you'll present it. So it'll be much more like an essay. So it'll be similar in that it'll be probably 5 minutes or less for the second part, and you'll be expected to do to be prepared and not just not do what I'm doing right now, freewheeling. You'll have a prepared script. You'll do it. You'll edit your final product. You'll put in your references and your citations. We'll tell you exactly how we want that to look. Yeah. So it'll be much more like a video essay than sort of a casual video that I would describe the technical checkup to be. Does that answer that enough? Good. Okay. Awesome. Yeah, we'll get on the assignment 1 part 2. It is not due for a little while. Again, bear with me. Assignment, it's Wednesday, February 16th is when it's due. So even if you waited to submit until the due date of the second for the part 1 part, you would still have a full 2 weeks for the part 2. So we've said this before. We usually enjoy these very much. So people can be very creative and do really interesting presentations. So does anyone want to create a group chat? So if we have a small question, we don't have to bug the prof. So Jacob, that's a great question. I'll just bring everyone's attention to the menu item called General Discussions. You can do a private chat. I'm not trying to intrude, but if you post in that questions, comments, and concerns forum there, I periodically look at that and I will weigh in if you haven't already got a question or reinforce an answer or whatever. So that is a resource that's available to you. So that's the General Discussions menu item below assessments on the left-hand side. But in the past, people have used that to sign up to chat groups or whatever, where it's just purely students. That's fine. Whatever you guys want to do is absolutely fine, of course. Does anyone have any further questions? All right, well, get on with your day. I will post this video. I'll do a few of the other things that I've promised to do over the next few hours or today, and enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Thanks very much. Sorry, I see your question here. You said that the discussion will be marked before discussion post 2 is posted. No, I'll post the discussion 2 first in case people want to move on with it, but I'll mark as fast as I can. Don't forget, I have somewhere in the neighborhood of well, it's probably not quite that high, but 190 discussions times 2 to read through. I can tell you exactly what it looks like here. I've got, well, it's not as bad. I got 116 discussions to go through and mark. So I will mark them in order, and as soon as they're marked, I'll release the feedback, like on on a student by student basis. So, maybe you're the unlucky one and it's not till Tuesday or Wednesday at the worst that I get through them all. But hopefully I'll get through most of them over the weekend, and you can sort of consider discussion 2 with the feedback from discussion 1. Does that help? Okay. You're very welcome. You have a great day. I will see you next week, hopefully. Take care.